Hello and welcome to Once Upon a Galaxy. I'm Ron. Astrid's... Oh, hello. Are you coming up? Astrid's threatening to jump up to join us. And let's get cooking. We get Amit, Dino, Thanatos, and Blorg. Okay. I have no belief in this captain. I suppose I should play a Blorg game, but... It's, I am not a believer in this captain in this day and age. Nor am I a believer in chip on the ship. But let's do our due diligence. Let's try some stuff, I guess. In theory, this could work. You don't really scale. Young Herc is pretty good. I've been pretty low on barrel, but I suppose if we're doing Blorg things, we kind of want to do something that cares about Candy and Faye. So I'm going to put in a Pisces here. I'm going to put in a... what's it called? Tinker? And I'm going to put a Blue Fairy in the deck. And I'm going to remove the arrows for something else. I think that's going to be Celestial Navigator, because I really can't think of another toy with a type line that I actually want to include. Let's see. I could just play a utility piece and call it a day. I'm not sure if that utility piece is Vam Chocolate, but... oh dear. I don't know. Oh, the Candy Summoner. Hold on. Where's he gone? Keep. Where's Keep? Where's Keep? Keep? How do you spell Keep? There he is. Alright. I don't have high hopes, but we'll see how this one goes. So we'll pick up a wind-up toy, which is a great start, into a gingerbread house, which turns a candy, another pretty decent start, given what we are cooking with here. We'll take the gingerbread house silver into a jealous stepsister silver into a wind-up toy silver, which is pretty good. Maybe the puck gets jealous stepsisters over the line, and it looks like she would have got there anyway, thanks to Dragonling attacking our gingerbread house, which is pretty nice. We'll take the Sailor Spinach because I don't think this captain is going to have a particularly strong mid-game. And we will take ourselves a Boon of Osiris with ambitions of that proccing into something a wee bit better over the course of the game. We do unfortunately lose a half heart to Kanoko thanks to a bit of an unfortunate combat run out. And we kind of get a bit of nothing in the Shoemaker's Elves, but we do get an opportunity to set up Boon of Osiris going into rare. Now we might lose the fight as a result because we had no sweetness, and at the moment we're doing sweetness matters stuff, and it looks like we do. We go to 2 hearts. We get offered Macaman and Goodie Bag, and we also get offered Achilles, but let's be realistic. I'm gonna take the Goodie Bag, recruiting it over the Shoemaker's Elves, and we will take the Gravity Well, I think. It could also be the Midas Throne, since the Goodie Bag is gilded, but let's assume that we're going to find something a wee bit better than that. We get ourselves a Pan Shadow, which is kind of tempting, but so far not looking too hot. If we turn these to Fade, does that change anything at this point? Not really. So I think this is just where we have to land, unless there's some way I can think of buffing up the Goodie Bag. And so far there just kind of isn't. We'll take the Tink, I suppose. I don't love that. And I guess I just have to buff slot 1 because we didn't find any of the spicy inclusions that can kind of pull you through. Now, thankfully, Omok's board is quite small, so we will full heart them and get away with blind murder. And I suppose turning them all into animals is kind of real for if that ship shape inspector comes back. We do have slot 1 buffed, so I'm going to recruit this and just proc the ship shape inspector, and hopefully that turns into something a bit more meaningful. We take a half-heart loss, but it's not the end of the world, and we will get ourselves a buried treasure, I suppose. Since all of our units are pirates. It could be the crow's nest, but let's just play for immediate strength right now. We get the snowball upgrade, not quite sure what treasure I'm looking for here, and I'm going to take the printing press. We find Keeb, which gives all of our units candy again, but I'm not really sure if that's the most important thing happening at this point in the game. We full heart Autorat with Blorg, and we will take the Shoemaker's Elves, and hopefully this turns into something a little spicy. And it does. We get Santa's cookies, which is a pretty big game. And we get ourselves a gingerbread house, but I also get the opportunity to sweeten my candy. I think I'm going to take the gingerbread house because of broken tools. Though unfortunately, we are not offered that. We are offered gold ring, which is actually fine for the goodie bag. It's not great, but it's going to be good enough here. And we get into combat with Kanoko. Our measly 10-10 cookie golem is summoned because we didn't find Sugar Rush on curve, but we do summon Mort and it gets halfway to proccing. We find ourselves a Mockingbird, but I'm also just kind of tempted to do this and see if it turns into anything nice, and it really does. The Mama Bear with candy is kind of real alongside the Guardian of the Grove. And we will half-heart Pingus. We will get ourselves offered a blue fairy, which I will recruit behind these two. And then we will recruit a Pisces to amp up the blue fairy a little bit. The blue fairy unfortunately gets sniped immediately by a Mr. Fox, but the goodie bag and the Guardian of the Grove are going to keep us ticking over. Do I want to double a slot? And I think the answer is yes. I think I just want that in the goodie bag, and we will give all types to all of our creatures. Except for Guardian of the Grove, who is carelessly not a toy. But it does look like we're going to defeat Kanoka in this fight. And that will eliminate them. We get ourselves the Mort a little late, as well as the Sugar Rush, which is also a wee drop too late. And I think I'm just going to take the common treasure here. I suppose it's Skeleton Key here, just on the off chance that we get an opportunity to find something significantly better. The Mecha Man attacks into the Big Bad Wolf, it summons our wind-up toy, and the Big Bad Wolf goes down to the Candy Cookie. We'll dig a wee bit now and see if we can find something a little spicier to amp up our board, and we kind of do. A Golden Icer on a Mecha Man when we Blue Fairy in slot 5 is certainly not bad. It even survives the hit, and it looks like we will full heart Pingus. We'll just cycle a wee bit, still see if we can find ourselves. Okay. Worm Scale Tinker. Just like old times. Not the spiciest one because we only really have 2 stat-based treasures, but it looks like it's going to do enough here to just about eliminate Pingus. The Worm Skill Tinker had very little to do with it. But yeah, that's Blorg. They're an interesting captain. I'm not going to write that off. The captain is interesting. Building your deck to suit yourself, or building, like, that puzzle is fun. Unfortunately, in practice, the captain isn't super strong. We had a pretty good game here, but that was off the back of Boon of Osiris into Goodie Bag into a treasure that scales our Goodie Bag, giving us, like, the extra breathing room to get to the point where we had, like, multiple legendaries on our board, multiple summons, and thankfully, like, if I'm honest, thankfully the biggest thing we had to deal with in the late game was a big bad wolf. But yeah, if you enjoy that deck building puzzle, Blorg might be the captain for you. For me, this might be the last Blorg video you see on the YouTube for a wee bit. Alright, thanks very much, and catch you next time.